Oh, good for old man, 89 plus.
No one's going to believe that there's a gentleman, 89 years old, singing like a 25-year-old.
He was playing this kind of fast, loud, piercing solos to what was then called race records, which evolved into rock and roll.
His music is the real deal. There's no question about it.
Until you had the guitar that was amplified, the saxophones were the real king of that style. And so he was the king of the kings. And then when he added the showmanship, I mean, that just brought the house down.
But then I went into the honking and screaming, and that worked for me, So it become like more of a showman. Well, the first thing I did was with Johnny Otis, Barrel House, 1948. It was the first hit record. And then after that, in 1949, I had Deacon's Harp, big hit on Savoy Records. 1959, There's Something on Your Mind, big hit record worldwide. All the great guys recorded, B.B. King, Albert King.
Jimi Hendrix's father used to take Jimmy to see Big J whenever he was in Seattle. And that's where Jimi Hendrix got a lot of his ideas, or at least the inspiration. And if you go to the Experience Museum up in Seattle, under the Space Needle, you'll see Big J sax. It's sitting right there.
I was on the top 10 with Little Richard, Bill Doggett in the 50s, Etta James, Five Keys, and Moon Glows. I wanted to be a comedian, Went on the stage in the Lincoln Theater, but they got the gong show for me. So I came up as a comedian, and they shot me off the stage. And then I came back with my horn the next week, and I won second prize. For a while I was with Savoy, then I was with King Records, with them. Did a lot of things for them. Now I'm with Cleopatra Records, and really cool. Rockin' Lucky was a guy that worked with the Rivingtons. Incredible musician. And my song, There's Something on Your Mind, I asked him, I said, come on, man, let's record it, man. It'll be a big hit. And so he loved Fats Domino, And I said, man, you cut this thing in half, you got a big hit record. Oh, man, give me $25. I think it was a couple more songs. So I ran home to my mother. I said, man, look, I got to have this money. I was poor, born in Watts, and didn't have that much money. So I said, look, I got to have this money. So we went to the lawyer, wrote the contract up. And we recorded it. Had little Sonny, I picked him up in Washington, D.C. He was from Falls Church, Virginia. Loved Ray Charles. Very soulful gospel. He was with the band for about 5 years. We couldn't record him because it sounds so much like Ray Charles. So I said, no, you singing exactly like this kid. We got to Seattle, Washington. There was a guy in Seattle, Washington, Mr. Bowe. He recorded all the artists that's come through. That was a hobby for him. So we got off the gig and went down in his basement and we recorded There's Something on Your Mind. Brought him to Hollywood, taken him to all the record companies. All the record companies turned it down. They said, oh, this is nothing. And Hunter Hancock, him and I were very close. So he said, well, Big J, I'll put this out for you, but I don't think it's going to be nothing, All right. Hunter Hancock was the only disc jockey that played what they call race music. That's black music. You had the Perry Comos and the Frank Sinatras and on the big station. So that's what made Hunter Hancock so popular because of the type of music that he was playing. And if a hit came out and the white artists were covered like Pat Boone or some of those guys, he wouldn't play it. He'd only play so they call it race records because they were all black artists. And that's why Hunter Hancock was so big. Very close. We did a lot of things together. Yeah. So normally what he would do, he would play a tape on the air. And if he got some response, then he would put it out. But he said, I'll put this out for you. I know I had a hit. So we were back in Bobby Darin and Chuck Berry. I had to have a 6-piece band. We got to San Francisco. There was a disc jockey called Rockin' Lucky. He'd come on at 12 o'clock at night and put it on there and tore the town down. And my wife called. She said, where'd you get that song? And I told her, well, from Rocky Lucky, and so we got married later. Great singer, Jackie Day. She did a lot of things for Modern Records and Specialty and all of them. So I called Hunter and told him, I said, man, this thing's hit. And normally what you do, what you know in the record business, you put the publicity out first, the records in the store, you know, but we put it on the air. We went the opposite way. No records in the store, and the distributors, and so everybody was panicking because everybody was clamoring for it, you know. It made such a big hit all at once. Finished the tour and came back with B.B. King and drew 5,000. And then we got immediately covered. Bobby Marchand covered it. The Hollywood Full Flame covered it. They put it out in Pittsburgh, and then put it out in New York. And it was a big hit, like it was in the picture, Nothing to Lose, when the guy sitting at the bar, there's something on your mind, they played it. B.B. King recorded it. It's been a big hit for me. I made a couple of dollars, you know. B.B. King went over 6 minutes, so they had to give me 30,000. So it's done well for me, you know.
Would you like to hear some boogie woogie?
The Grammys. That's the only year they had the blues. It was around 1987. They had B.B. King, Albert King, Dr. John, Junior Wells, Robert Craig, Etta James, and they gave us 12 minutes and let the good times roll. And so when we went to rehearse, they said, well, look, we're going to, each artist come out after the course. You know, you have to audition so they see what's going to happen. So I laid on the floor, man. The guy said, oh, man, keep that in, you know. I came from the audience. So like when B.B. King, they came out from the side. And when they announced me, I sat on Winnie Houston's mother's lap because I'm always figuring out something to do, you know. So she was sitting right on the side, her and her mother. So I went over and sat on her lap. Then when I laid on the floor, 6,000 people, look at, everybody stood up. Mandel, everybody, the whole auditorium stood up. That was a time that I worked with B.B. King that I thought was incredible. Like the reason I laid on the floor, I mean, that wasn't really my intentions to lay on the floor. I had a real groovy band, man. It was kicking, man. I had some great guys. And we was working in a little town called Clarksville, Tennessee. So small, you don't even have to have the address, just put the name there. So the people didn't respond, man. They just sat there and looked at it and said, like, so what are you going to do next? You know? So we played, nothing happened. So after the intermission, you know, and we all dressed real sharp there. You know, so everybody had tuxedos. We had about 5 tuxedos. They called us the Josephine Bakers. So I didn't even change clothes. I tried to figure out what I'm going to do. So I'm walking through the audience, got on my knees, nothing happened. And I laid on the floor. And it went crazy, man. And I said, oh, man, this is something. So when I got to Fort Worth, Texas, I'm going to try this again. And I used to just walk out and lay in the mud anywhere, you know, because I could get soup clean the next day, you know. And so when I got to Los Angeles, Chuck Higgins and Joe Houston, they started copying my act. So I said, well, I'm trying to figure out what could I do. And we were working in a club called the Nightcap after hours, where all the musicians went there and jammed. And this young lady came out there fluorescent, dancing. I said, that's it. So I went downtown and I told the guy, man, paint my horn. So they put it in transparent. And you have your black lights. You turn out all the lights, all you would see is my horn.
One thing always stuck in my mind, that was the famous picture of him laying on the stage with a bunch of white guys in ecstasy.
I was talking to his son, Willoughby's son, and he said his father heard Hunter Hancock say, hey, we're having a big system come down, Big J, McNeely and all the guys. So he said he grabbed his camera and he ran down and he shot that photo. But that picture, it was before Elvis. You see, they barred me out of Los Angeles because I couldn't play because all the kids were screaming and hollering, and they didn't understand why. That picture is used on albums that I'm not even in. In fact, they even put it in color. So that's the greatest picture. I think it's the greatest picture.
So right now we have this wave of retro sound that we find on the charts. His music is contemporary.
I have 3 songs in the Gangster Squad, and the trombone, I got one called Willie the Cool Cat. I recorded 60 years ago.
When we signed Big J McNeely, I told Jurgen, I want these tracks to really pop out, and we kind of want them to sound pre-1965.
Someone said, what love got to do with it? But I say, honey, love have everything to do with it.
Tina Turner said, what does love have to do with it? And Richard and myself said, love has everything to do with it. Give me some of yours and I give you some of mine, and we'll be together forever and ever. So we came up with Love Never Fail. And so it's like I had a dream last night and I found this beautiful girl. But when I woke up with nothing but a dream, you know.
Jay started kind of riffing on lyrics or just his rap, and that line came up, Love Will Never Fail. I thought, oh, that's kind of catchy.
And then Richard put the bridge to it, you know. And then I did the back called little rap about like love is the key to true happiness.
And then Jurgen England did a great a mix on it.
We were moving and grooving in 1965.
Jurgen wrote some great lyrics, moving and grooving in 1965, dancing in the streets. Great song. And you know, he makes such strong tracks at Powerhouse. Jurgen, he's a monster, man. He's a great mixer, and he really made that tune come alive.
I've been mistreated.
He had the title, I've Been Mistreated. And so I used to do a thing like, before I do There's Something on Your Mind, it's like it's so hard to be in love with someone who don't love you, you know. Give them all your money, things still ain't right. And I've been mistreated, think I'm going to go down to the river, jump in and say goodbye, Well, with the track that he had, it's so strong, we just I've taken a lot of his lyrics and put them with mine, and with Richard and I, we came up and just changing all the words around until we could get the groove going, you know, so it worked out fine. Now, there's a big article in the Wall Street Journal. Mr. Myers in New York was a great writer, and he says that rock and roll has no respect for Big J. Powerful article. He wrote it right on the night of the night they was getting ready to have their awards. And he explained to him, like, you know, I was before Elvis, before all those guys. And a lot of the guys who admired me are in the Hall of Fame, but Big J is not in the Hall of Fame.
It's just kind of a black eye on their part that they haven't recognized somebody who influenced all that music and is still here. I mean, you know, what does it do after he's gone?
And hopeful that this album that we got coming out now, that will be able to open their eyes into where they'll be able to recognize, maybe put me in the Hall of Fame before I die.